I want you to say, please raise your hands and scream because this is the best day of COP. So 1, 2, 3. Woo! So we're going to start with that energizer, and I'm going to have here my colleague Natalie. So I invite you to stand up. Everyone, please.
If you were here yesterday, you know what we're going to do. We're going to do energy stretches, I guess. Okay, so first we're going to reach towards the sun and be a solar panel. And then we go to the grassroots and get some power. Power from the people. Oh, doesn't that feel great? Love power from the people. And then we get some wind energy going.
Wind energy?
Yeah.
You've got a really strange turbine.
I know, I'm not
see a turbine being
And then like, now we go backwards because the wind changed. And then we do some tidal energy.
Are you going to do geothermal?
I was going to try. I'm not sure geothermal. Maybe like geothermal could be pushing up. The air is moving. Okay.
It's more like tidal power to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all about imagination.
We're going to bike.
Bike.
It's going to be great.
Okay, what kind of energy is this?
We are biking. It's transportation energy. Great. And then we're going to fight the patriarchy. I like this one. Fight the patriarchy. I know. With both hands. With both hands, we're fighting the patriarchy.
Fighting the patriarchy?
Yes.
I'm one of them.
We know you like it.
Oh my God.
Okay. Woo!
So welcome everyone again, and thank you for being in this beautiful day in which you're gonna travel. For me, it's traveling into the future because youth represents the future of humankind, and all of us here are the seeds who are planting the actions for a better world for tomorrow. So So an invitation to have the intention of reminding us that if all of us youth together with this vibrant and powerful energy that we have, if we canalize this energy into a very positive vision of the future of creating a sustainable civilization, we're going to do wonders. So I had no doubt that the youth is the future of the world. So thank you again and welcome. And we're going to start this beautiful event, and the best is to, well, I'm going to begin by inviting Nick Nuttall to give us some words, some inspiration, and give us some thoughts about the Youth and Generations Day.
Okay.
You can.
So, welcome to the Young and Future Generations Day. What a day. I look out here and I see many friendly faces, many people I've seen before, and it's great to see you again, and many new faces too. So that's part of the joy of these conferences. People often ask, why the devil are 30,000 people coming all the way to one conference? And in fact, it's actually to get together. You can do a lot by telecommuting, you can do a lot by video conference, but we all know that only by really being together physically can we actually start taking the actions and bending the curve of what climate action is all about. I think when you look at your day today, and when you look at this conference here in Bonn, you see the two faces of climate change as we find it in 2017. Many of the reports that have been coming out in the last few weeks, and also here at COP23 by the scientists, are really, really sobering. I was chaired a press conference with the head of the World Meteorological Organization, I think it was Monday, and the reality was that we have already signed up to a certain level of climate change. He said we will have extreme weather events for another 50 years, even if we work really hard to actually fulfill the Paris Agreement. That is very sobering. So we really need to build resilience into our communities and our countries. You know, we saw the extreme weather events as we ran into this conference, the hurricanes in the East Caribbean. And in the past, we would say, oh, well, maybe these are in line with climate change. Now, the scientists can tell you what percentage of the extreme weather event was linked with human-made climate change. This is very, very sobering stuff and should give everybody the resolute conviction that we need to move further, faster together. But the other face of climate change is here. You're part of that other face. The world really is moving. I mean, it's late in the day. It's late in the day. It should have happened in Copenhagen, right? We've lost time. But the world is moving since Paris. And you see that it's not a chain anymore that can be broken by the weakest link. It's actually now an ever deeper web of influence. You, the cities in which you live, the countries in which you live, some of the progressive businesses in where you live, you know? It's now become a movement, and now it has to go faster. So I really appreciate you being here. You are very important. I know people say that all the time, and you go, yeah, do they really mean it? No, you are. You are really important because your faces, your thoughts, your ideas, what you do, and how you take that message home. Because one thing is the conference. Yeah, it's good to get together. But where you're going to make the difference is back home. You need to engage with people that don't care about this agenda, because when you think about where we've come, we now live in a time where, yes, there are still skeptics. Yes, there are some people that don't want to believe it. Yes, there are some people who think Elvis Presley is alive and well and working at a checkout market in Tennessee, right? There are people that believe all kinds of stuff. There are still some people that believe the world is flat. Okay, fine. But they are increasingly in a minority. The biggest challenge is that so many people are now aware of climate change, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. So show them what to do. Engage with them on what they need to do. And it's small steps that lead to big steps and big outcomes. And every single person in this room can make a difference. So thanks for being here. Lots of love. Have a great day. And let's see each other over the coming days and next week when all these heads of state come, and let's see what they're going to say. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nick. And I think we're gonna continue? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna take a few words. It's true we lose some time, but I think if we focus and direct our energies into the future and have a clear vision of what we want, everything is possible. So I'm gonna we're gonna begin this beautiful panel, and I'm gonna give the word to Samantha Kwan, President of the Youth Climate Action Network, Samoa. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody, and a warm talo falava all the way from Samoa. I'm from the Youth Climate Action Network, and this morning I will be sharing with you what we do back home. So on the screen you can see a logo. This is our logo for our youth group back in Samoa. And we chose the mangrove because we see mangrove as a sign of resilience. And as you can see, there's some small stick people figure. A little bit creepy maybe, but these represent us, the young people, that are trying to strengthen this resilience of the mangrove. So this is our logo, and that's the Youth Climate Action Network of Samoa. So a little bit of what we do. This is our island country in Samoa. These are the two big islands, Upolu and Savaii. And as you can see, there are so many dots indicating where we're working. And you can see red is pending, orange is in progress, and green is on the go. Now it's very important that the green says on the go, it doesn't say finish. We don't just go plant the tree today and that's it. We have to go back. We are now initiating this part of doing action. So this is a little outdated, this map. There's been more action being taken, but this is what we've been doing. So the top right one, back in 2015 we had a long drought and there was a lot of fires. And after the drought, this is us going back to restore the forest that was burnt down. Also in Samoa there's a lot of coastal erosion. As you can see, we're now not only having seawalls, we're also planting some coastal trees. You can see we're also planting mangroves. The other photo is it's a community we start as installing rubbish stands because waste is such a big problem in Samoa. Another problem is people tend to think mangroves are rubbish or the wastelands. So we built these rubbish stands so people can use these instead of mangroves to dump their waste. We also work a lot with, it's good we work with women in communities. That's our team there. There's 12 of us. And this is one of the young boys who's also a young person who's also part of our climate actions. As you can see, a lot more. We focus a lot on the coast, and not only that, you can see we're also in the sea. We also protect our coral reefs. One of the actions we do here is we can't control coral bleaching, but back home, there's also a problem of crown-of-thorns starfish, which also causes coral bleaching. But for this one, the coral immediately dies. So we've been doing a lot of programs where we go out in communities and clean out the crown-of-thorns. Also, what we do is awareness and a lot of picking up rubbish that's around the coast. So I end my short conclusion presentation this morning. This is a picture from home, and it shows across 3 generations. Very young people who are very curious about climate change, and there's us, the youth. We're ready to fight some climate change. And then there's our own grandfather. He's still can't believe he's fighting about climate change. And before I conclude, I'd really like to thank GIZ and the German government through BMZ. Without them, I wouldn't have been here to share my story. A very special thank you to Hannah Sabas and, of course, Marcel Sorbos. They've been very helpful since we've been here. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. I think what you're doing is a great job, and I think it's really inspiring us to keep, regenerating the planet as you do. So thank you for sharing. And I can invite our next guest, which is Ana González Guerrero from Mexico. I give you the word now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the introduction. I'm from Mexico. I'm currently based in Canada, and I'm here with Yongo, with the Seychelles support team, and representing an organization that I co-founded, the Youth Climate Lab. So I'll briefly talk a little bit about what we do. On the one side, we work with climate entrepreneurs and just enabling action that's happening on the ground. And then on the other side, more relevant to this conference, we are working on climate policy. So our objective is to engage and meaningfully incorporate youth's voice into climate change negotiations. So a brief example of how we're doing this year is with the Seychelles support team. So we are very lucky to have a huge champion for youth in the Seychelles, the ambassador, Ronnie Jumeau, who, thanks to him and in collaboration with the Youth Climate Lab, we welcomed Rebecca, Stacy, Jalissa, and Shantana 2 days ago from the Seychelles. It's their first COP, and they're here in a project where they're going to be partnered up and following negotiations with their team from the Seychelles, while they're also partnered up with some international youth so that they get both the intergenerational collaboration within their national network and the international reach with other youth here. We're piloting it this year. We are very excited. We're also launching a big mentorship project on the 16th. If you're around and want to hear more about it, please come talk to us. And overall, we can't wait for it to be our turn to be in the negotiation seat. So we need to make sure that we can currently participate in a way that allows our voice to be heard. So that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Anna, for helping the youth, to increase the voice of the youth in the negotiations. And now I'm going to give the word to Mona Husseini, and she's going to also share about her work.
Bula ocean lovers and young people. I'm one of senior from a very north of Germany, from the Baltic Sea. And this is one of the reasons why this year, in the light of Fiji's presidency and the Ocean Conference in New York, my organization Climates has started a project called 4C. In this project, yet led by youth organizations, we are addressing the link between oceans and the climate system. This is very important, and I'm really excited to share this blue kind of climate action. The ocean is a huge carbon sink, we know it. It has a huge role for the climate regulation, but on the other side, the climate change really affects the ocean negatively. Acidification is only one of those effects. Sea level rise another one. What we do as 4C is to raise awareness for this project. We are writing articles, we are making workshops, we are talking to people about it, and in particular to our peers. We want to raise awareness for the importance of the ocean, even for landlocked countries. And we as youth inspire people because science is sometimes really complicated. And as youth organization and as 4C, we have a bridge between science and climate action. We are all in the same canoe when it comes to climate change. Sea level rise affects countries of the global south just like countries of the global north. So the Northern Sea, the Wadden Sea, is also affected by sea level rise, and this is why we are also an international team in 4C. We are people from Paris, Stockholm, Fiji, Germany. It's really huge what we are doing. And 4C is not only a research project, we are also making a lot of educational stuff. We also have a project partner who is called Vitamin C. They are going on a world journey without any navigation, starting in France, going to Canada, and going via Great Britain, and they are going to meet school classes at their stops. And this is really nice because it shows climate action is a journey, actually. It's a journey into a new, clean and fair future. So it's really nice to be part of that adventure, and it's really nice to talk to you about this. So in the end, we young people, we connect research, action, and education with lots of creativity and positive spirit. Thanks.
Thank you, Mona, and thank you for sharing the work that you're doing with the oceans. We're going to proceed now with our youth climate ambassadors. So I'm going to give the word to Inka and Fabian.
So a year ago, we were both at school in New Zealand, studying for our final exams, and we weren't too sure where life would take us in the next year. But in New Zealand, it's quite common to go travelling and take a gap year after you've finished school. So that's what we decided we wanted to do. But we realised coming from New Zealand, it's quite hard to travel halfway across the world without leaving a big carbon footprint. So we decided to reduce our carbon footprint dramatically by cycling across Europe instead of using buses, cars and trains. We did use a few trains, but the idea was that we would offset or we'd reduce our emissions as much as possible by cycling. And we realised that we still had to do something about our plane, which was one of the main carbon emitting sources that would be on our trip. So we contacted the UNFCCC and we asked them what we could do about our flight, and they gave us a solution which Inka will explain.
So, as you said, we were put in contact with the UNFCCC, and they put us in contact further with their initiative, the CNN, which is Climate Neutral Now. And that's an initiative which allows individuals, companies and businesses to offset their carbon emissions. And it has three main steps, which are to calculate, reduce and offset. And so, as you said, we calculated what we did, which was the flight, and then we reduced what we could, which was cycling, and altogether we cycled 10,000 kilometers across Europe. And we offset what we couldn't reduce, which was our flight to Europe, and then at the end of our trip we'll calculate all the trains that we took and try and calculate every car ride here and there with friends, and we'll offset a further, I don't know, 3 tons or so. So anyway, go back to the beginning, when we got into contact with the CNN, they were really keen about our project. They thought it was a really cool idea, and they offered
for us to be ambassadors. And so what that meant for us was we started in Portugal and went up to the Netherlands and then down to Greece via Croatia, Albania, and then back up to Germany. And on the way we spoke to governments, businesses, some schools, and it was really interesting. We spoke to them about what they're doing for climate change and what they're doing against climate change.
And we've been sharing our message through social media, which we know lots of other young people use. So we decided to spread our message as much as possible to other people who want to do a gap year as well, and give them more options when it comes to travelling. So that's basically what we're doing. Thanks.
Thank you to our climate ambassadors. You're truly really an inspiration for all of us. And we're going to move on with the COI organizing team, COI 13. So I'm going to give the word to them. Anna, you can go ahead.
Thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. This is Christian and I'm Anna, and we're part of the organizing team of the 13th Conference of Youth, which took place last weekend. Let me just briefly ask who was at the Conference of Youth? Oh yeah, well, good. Yeah, great. Yeah, the Conference of Youth, for those who weren't there or maybe don't know anything about it, took place last year, and it's actually a youth conference, the largest youth gathering on climate change this year. Sorry, yeah, that took place last weekend. We have some people from the organizing team here as well. Yeah, we've been organizing in a team of 80 young people. We've been organizing this conference for over 10 months. And we've brought together 1,300 youth from 114 nations last weekend for 3 days to work together on climate change and accelerate youth climate action.
Really half of those participants actually did contribute to the program in one way or another, which already shows how eager we are to be engaged, to get engaged, I think. They did presentations, workshops, and also, and really worth mentioning, we had well-being spaces and art spaces promoting training on sustainable activism and what we call artivism. We chose all of this to take place under a slogan which is called Tala no Manda, Youth Accelerating Climate Action. And I think you all know what Tala no Manda means by now. But we actually put this into practice, the Tala no spirit of deep understanding, deep listening, and attaching value to each and every voice in the room. And we hope, I think, that this spirit somehow plays out in the negotiations at COP23 as well, like it did at COI 13 already, and maybe improves the outcome of this whole conference.
Thank you, Christian. I think the COI 13 organizers deserve another round of applause because they did a great job. Thank you. So thank all of you, and I'm gonna give the word to Yugantra. She can come and talk about the Global South Scholarship.
Thank you, Yuan. A very good morning, everyone. Hello, Nick, Adriana, everybody. I'm very happy to be talking, and all of you already know why we did Global South Scholarships this year, but what I can just add on or say is that, first of all, when we started to think about Global South Scholarships this year, it was just like a concept note that we wanted to do it, and then it went on and became a full-fledged project in which we had support from the German government, the two ministries, the German Environment Ministry and the German Economic Development Ministry, the BMZ, GIZ. I think Peter was going to be here, but he's not here with us at the moment. Maybe he'll join us later. So, as As a part of Younger Global South Scholarships this year, which was led by me, Sagar, Tim, and other people in the GSS team, we brought and trained and brought 30 young people from Global South into COP13 and COP23. And out of these 30 people, more than half of them are on their government badges, because we talked with their governments and stuff, and about 14 people are from island countries. So that has been our contribution in trying to address some of the challenges. Apart from that, I mean, it's very evident that why we need support for young people, not just from the South, but also for people from North, because we are all students and all working, most of the people who come to talks, and are not financially independent. So in order for young people to be meaningfully engaged in the process, in order for young people to contribute, we need to have the representation, we need to have their meaningful engagement, which we tried to do with Global South Scholarships this year. And there are many of the scholars that I see here, and it's been absolute pleasure working with the ministries, with the Secretariat, with the team. And I'm very, very deeply grateful to all of you here in Yungo who have supported in some form or the other, by providing emotional support, by giving us the support needed to make the project happen under Yungo. And yes, and I hope that for the remaining 1.5 weeks of COP, it becomes a very meaningful experience for our delegates who are coming from very, very different backgrounds to be with all of you and share their experiences. And that, of course, we continue to do this for the next year's Talanoa Dialogue or for next year at COP Poland. So thank you very, very much, everyone, once again, and see you around.
Thank you, Yuganta, and thank you all of you who are in the front lines of Yungo and VLT, who are really were able to create this fantastic program. So we're gonna go and introduce Adriana, which is, as everyone knows, a fantastic energy. She has this fantastic energy, always smiling. So I want her to come and give us some inspirational words. Thank you, Adriana.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, Django. Good morning, young people from all over the world. Today is a fantastic day. Today is the Young and Future Generation Day, one of the first thematic days that have been celebrated during the years at the COP. I am really happy to see you all. I know that you have worked very hard to put together the agenda for today. There will be multiple side events, workshops, exhibitions, action, showcasing all your initiatives and all your projects. Also, we are very happy to I'm very glad to invite you to the next event that we will have is the Intergenerational Inquiry, where decision makers and also young people can interact. We will have the COP23 presidency, we have the deputy of UNFCCC as well, we have the SBI chair who is from Poland to engage with young people. The results of the COP13, including videos and inspirational stories about what you are doing, will be presented. This event will be from 1:15 to 2:45 in room number 2. Then you are welcome. Also, Younger knows that today we have the youth briefing with the UNFCCC Executive Secretary. We have side events organized by different youth organizations, and we will finalize the day with a live talk at the Climate Change Studio. Then it is your day. Enjoy. You have worked very hard, showcase what you are doing, inspire others, but as Nick said, the most important is that you learn from here and go back to your cities, to your countries, to your universities, to your schools, and accelerate climate action. All of you, you have this t-shirt that is Youth Uniting for Climate Action, and I am sure that we together can go further, faster, and together. Then let's stand up and let's energize this day with a very big applause for the Young and Future Generation Day. And with this, where is the young people? Let's take a photo together. And with this, let's take the official photo And with this, we will open the Young and Future Generation Day. I invite all the panelists just to go in front, to take all of you, you can stay there, and all the panelists go in front for a family photo for the Young and Future Generation Day. Don't forget to tweet, and the agenda of the Young and Future Generation Day is there, is as well in the website and as well in the Yongo Facebook.
Yeah, climate science.